Okay. I will introduce myself. My name is Amelia Vallon. I am in public speaking class. I don't remember the number. And this is my informative speech. Here is my audience number 1. What's your name?
Jovi Hernandez.
Okay. And then Harrison, could you please?
Hi, I'm Harrison.
Number 2, Sam.
I'm Sam.
Great. Can you mute yourself now, Sam? That's 3. Thank you. Ryan.
I am Ryan.
4, Kaylee.
Hi, I'm Kaylee.
5, and Marielle.
Hi, Marielle.
Marielle, all right. 6, and Laurel.
Hi, I'm Laurel.
Laurel 7, and Katerina.
I am Kat.
All right, that's my 8 people. And here are my cards. I have 2 with no real sentences on them. Girl, there we go. All right. Whew. I'm so excited to give this speech today. That was kind of confusing. It didn't really line up. My body language didn't match up with what I was saying to you directly. I can't tell you how many conversations I've had just like that, where I didn't really understand the message that was coming across. And that's how we come into the differences in communication, that is direct and indirect communication styles. I can't promise that after this speech, you'll be a master conversationalist, but I do guarantee that after the speech, you will know the definitions of these terms, their social context, and the proper settings for them. To start off, I found a scholarly article that was properly titled "The Impact of Direct and Indirect Communication." This article defined direct communication as the giving and receiving of information, which is also the definition provided by the Peace Corps. It also went on to describe indirect communication as the interpretation of nonverbal behaviors and implications. To start off, it's very important that you understand that to be direct, you need to be clear and as obvious as possible. Leave absolutely no room for interpretation, almost as if you are giving step-by-step procedures in an experiment that you want to be easily replicated. Also, in direct communication, the responsibility for clear communication falls upon the speaker. Whereas in indirect communication, the responsibility for interpretation of the message falls upon the listener. Indirect communication calls for more discretion and strategy. It's more about how we say it rather than what we say. Someone who speaks indirectly is more likely concerned with keeping the conversation harmonious, so to avoid any tension or uncomfortable situations. Now that we have the basic understanding of what these terms mean, it's very important that before you try and use these new things, you understand how different people could interpret them. Thanks to an article on LinkedIn, a job posting site, I found the best way to describe these different perceptions of these different communication styles. Some might find indirect communication to simply be a way to save face. To save face is described as maintaining respect and courtesy for the person you are speaking to, and also trying to avoid humility. Some may find indirectness to be evasive and even untrustworthy because the person isn't saying exactly what they mean. Whereas direct communication, some might find blunt, harsh, or even rude. Direct communication is specifically for efficiency. It's straight to the point, it's clear cut, and some people aren't used to that type of communication style, so they may be put off by it. I'm sure we've all heard the sayings, If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. That's from someone who speaks indirectly. Or the saying, don't beat around the bush. That's someone direct who speaks in a direct communication style. I'm sure we've all heard these things time and time again. Now that we have a better understanding of these terms, it's very important that we understand the appropriate times for each of these communication styles. Thanks to an article on Indeed, another job posting site, I found the proper situations for each of these. Direct communication, sorry, let me share my screen. Direct communication is, like I said earlier, the giving and receiving of information. So it's better suited for instructional moments and situations like in school or in work or something where you need to be efficient. To be properly directly communicating, it's important that there is active listening involved as well as effective feedback. It's a two-way street with direct communication, and everyone needs to be as clear and obvious as possible. Whereas indirect communication, this picture shows actions speak louder than words. Indirect communication is more about nonverbal behavior, body language. To speak indirectly is probably more suited for personal moments when it's more emotionally involved, so that we can really read the situation and be as respectful and understanding as possible. Overall, gauge the situation. Both can be very useful. Active listening and effective feedback can be used in any situation. And a published author and also linguist, Deborah Tannen, once said that ineffectiveness is a foundation to proper communication. So gauge the situation. You can use either of them efficiently, and both are necessary. And now I feel like we all understand direct versus indirect communication. We understand the definitions, we understand the proper context, and when we should be using them. And I think now I'll be able to be much more comfortable in conversations and feel like we fully understand the message than we have before. Thank you so much. Wait, any questions? No question? I do need questions.
Yes,
Here's my husband.
yes. Are there any times in communication where both indirect and indirect communication overlap?
As a mother, I would say when teaching children, be as clear and obvious as possible, but also use your body language. Also use the way that you say it, your tone, your expression, all very important. When it comes to people who, for teachers and such, when it comes to using layman's terms, as I like to say, it's very important that you use as many communication styles as possible to reach any type of audience. Any other? Harrison.
So what is your favorite communication style to use?
A lot of my research found that people from the South are more likely to be indirect, and I do have to agree that I'm more of an indirect person. I'm more often caring about how the person is relaying to my message rather than the information I'm getting across. So I will say indirect is usually my go-to. I am working on being more direct. Right, and I think that's good. Thank you so much.